Ladies and gentlemen, when you've been running a team as much as I have, or as long as I have, I should say, you really get to learn the tricks of the trade and really all the matchups for each of those mon as well. While each season has a changing buffs and nerfs to different mon, over time you just get used to it. And that's what I really think is the best way to learn in GBL, is to just pick a team and then just run with it, run with it, run with it, run with it. Learn the timings, learn everything, learn the intricacies of any matchups, and then you'll be so good in those matchups that you'll be better than your opponent is, basically, in the knowledge space, and that's where you're really going to gain an edge here in GBL. So with that in mind, I'm going to be going over the Hypno Double Dark team again here. It's the last day of Open Great League. This is the time to really get it in before the league switch to Jungle Cup and I believe some sort of Ultra League, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. I know it is going to be Jungle Cup at least for 2 weeks, which, I mean, if you like Vigoroth, there's going to be a lot of Vigoroth coming out. So from everybody, not just me, not just your opponents, not even just you. There'll be so much Vigoroth. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to go over some Hypno Double Dark. Again, I made this team back in Season 4. I think we're in like Season 15 now, so it's been almost like 3-4 years of this team. And while it has diminished in its ability to win neutral matchups throughout just, again, buffs and changes and new mon in the league, I think it's still good enough. Obviously, I'm running it. Still good enough today just because it has such good like typings, and right now actually Dark is, I think, pretty good. The only things you really have to be worried about are Fairy and Annihilate, basically. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. If you haven't, hit the like button and subscribe. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the games here. Charge-a-Bug. So this is actually a really bad lead for us. This is one of those new mon that I'm talking about that have come into the meta, and obviously it's been here for a while, but I'm just saying with the Hypno team, very new compared to them, so it is pretty much a core breaker. The good thing is you're going to try to, or what I like to do is basically this, try to double team this Charge-a-Bug down so that we maintain a little bit of health on Umbreon and Hypno. So while both of them are weakened, we're at least taking out this extreme threat here of Charge-a-Bug. And you can even eat this second move here, but they allow us to throw, so I'm going to go ahead and try to take it out. Scrafty can also take this down later as well, not a big deal. You could even let this go if this does KO, which I don't think it does, but it probably has 2. You can come in with Scrafty and start doing the counters, and then really allowing Scrafty to go for that end game. So you see we're up a shield. I do come in Hypno here, but sometimes I do come in Scrafty. But I do decide to weaken this Lantern just a little bit, but I'm going to switch into Scrafty right away after this because, again, we have a shield. I can go ahead and take 1 hit here from Lantern, even if it's a Thunderbolt. I'm not too worried about that. Something else to think about here is I don't think this is actually going to KO, so that's a little unfortunate because we're probably going to need to end up shielding unless we try to go all in on Hypno, and the opponent ends up getting leaving. So Cresselia always was a bit of a tough lead, although nowadays Cresselia not really running Moonblast in Great League, which makes it a lot better for us because Umbreon's going to be insane against it, but Scrafty's actually going to have the play instead of getting double super effective nuked by the Moonblast. Since it is that fairy typing, it's super effective against the dark and fighting types of Scrafty, and it basically one-shots. I don't think it technically one-shots, but it gets you down to like almost no HP from fools. So Annihilate, one of the new big hitters here this season. The preferred counter user over Poliwrath because it does in fact beat Poliwrath as well. So that was kind of Medichamp's spot the last couple of seasons. It was the counter user that beats all other counter users. Well, that's Annihilate now. So I go for some extra energy here, and then I try to catch here on Scrafty, but I already know what I'm going to do in this matchup. I just have to assume that it does not have Moonblast because that's my only win con here. And I do assume, again, that in the Great League, these Cresselias are less likely to be running Moonblast. Now, in saying that, there has been a bit of a change of the guard in Pokemon Play events. So the Show 6 Pick 3 format, the tournament format that Pokemon Go is added to, there is a big uptick in Moonblast. So maybe that will come to Go Battle League, maybe it won't, but we'll see. I decided I need to get as much counter damage through here as I can, plus I'm already at this move. I know I can get 4 more counters in if they want to throw a Body Slam right away, which will probably KO us, but we really need to get this down into range where Hypno can basically throw 2 Thunder Punches, or Ice Punch, they all do the same amount of damage, so that I take the shield and KO this Lickitung. So right when I get to 2, I'm going to throw, and then I'm pretty sure Hypno wins CMP against Lickitung, but I could be off on that one. Don't take my word for it. But we do get there before they get there anyways. Trevenant is not the worst lead. It is pretty bad for Hypno, but it is good to note that I am running Ice Punch as that secondary move on Hypno over there. It's going to allow you to have a little bit of play against that Trevenant late if you do get stuck in that matchup. As for this, we're going to go for Switch here. From what I've seen in the many Vigoroths that I faced, they almost always have to throw a 3rd Body Slam to KO you. They can't really counter you down here unless they want to lose a shield. I'm talking about in that even 0 shield scenario. They always have to throw another Body Slam, which you're going to CMP on, and they're going to win the CMP. That's fine. But we have a little bit of a farm down here for Hypno, and that's kind of what we're trying to get to in an in-game anyways. Trying to get Hypno to that Ice Punch in the very, very late game against Trevenant if we can. I do go for the move here. This can only be a Seed Bomb. They did 2 Shadow Claws on that opening matchup, and then they did 4 right here to CMPS as we get to 2 Confusions, which is 4 Shadow Claws for them. They end up staying in here. This is just going to be another Seed Bomb. I'm willing to just take that here on Scrafty. I am at the Foul Play. Now it's a matter of do I want to bait or not. They do end up switching into the Whiscash. I guess I decide here I really don't need to bait anything. I want to go just for the big moves. Although I probably will get KO'd by a Scald here. So what I'll probably do is go 4 more counters and then throw Foul Play. I throw 3 counters just because the Mud Bomb. Oh, I see. Yeah, because of the Mud Bomb. I don't want to get hit by it, but unfortunately I do get hit by it. Probably not worth shielding because we could save that shield for Hypno as well. So what we want to do is throw the Foul Play into the Trevenant here, but we're not going to make it, so I just have to hope that they have either lost counter. I don't really know the counter of this mod since it's not used very much. And yeah, we do end up getting that shield, and we actually have a win con here, even at just 1% HP. And we get that final Ice Punch off against the Trevenant, which is what we were trying to gain an advantage of throughout that matchup. So here we have Vigoroth in the front. This is where we want to see it if we're going to see it anywhere. They can throw before we do. Obviously, it only takes them 5 counters, which is basically 2.5 confusions to get to their move. It takes us 4 confusions to get to our first move, and then 3 to get to the second if we have only punches, which we do. So probably worth preserving Hypno here. I can go 1 more confusion, I believe. Oh no, I can go 2 confusions. That's right. They were at literally 0 energy. They threw at 5/5, and then they got to 4 here. And then it's a matter of, do I want to throw the move into the Lantern here or not? And I decide to save my energy just in case it's something I need it for in the back, maybe a Skarmory that I need to do actually a lot of damage to before throwing in the Scrafty to go for a pup or something like that. So, and Umbreon's always a pretty good choice. I mean, it's pretty neutral against almost everything except fairy types and counter users. But luckily, Annihilate being one of those counter users that's being used a lot, and Vigoroth, and those aren't that bad at all for Umbreon. As far as Charmers, those are really bad for Umbreon. The Alolan Ninetales, especially the Shadow version, not as bad, but yeah, something to really keep in mind. Wigglytuff is really bad for this team. Hopefully, if you run into one, it is in the front. If there is a Wigglytuff in the back, it's definitely going to be in a pretty bad for us here. As far as this matchup's been going, neutral matchup and very bulky of everything. They end up having a Mandibuzz here in the back, and the best way to combat the Mandibuzz is to just pup all the way through it. You can actually live 2 Aerial Aces. It's not a great move, which is why you can live 2 of them. And it is running Snarl, which we double resist, and it's not a very big damaging fast move as it is. So I end up going for... I think I actually ended up going for like a foul play here at the end because it does actually more damage. And I think they actually ended up shielding this one. This is the super effective move. Probably we should be shielding this, but to be fair, they're going to get to another one if they want to. And this is where I'm like getting really cheeky, and I'm like, okay, I can just take it out from here maybe. They end up shielding, and that's not great. And then I end up trying to do a combo play, but they're absolutely ready for it. They catch it. Unfortunate. They aren't going to be able to farm me down, though, because I'm already at another move, and this should KO, and we already took that shield, so... Oh, it does not KO. Just let this go, since Scrafty is a counter user. It's only 2 turns. I don't want to get into some weird thing where Hypno has to go for a 4-turn move, and they have a 3-turn move, and we end up getting KO'd. And you have to remember, we still had that shield advantage, so not too worried about that. Charjabug lead here again. As you see, I do basically the same thing every time. I don't try to go for CMP. They obviously win CMP, so I go for that extra damage. I'm going to throw the move anyways. They have to get 1 more to get to a second X-Scissor. And then I'm probably going to switch to Umbreon. So you see that, it's that matchup thing I was talking about in the intro. I try to do the exact same thing through every matchup because this is how I've seen it work out for me in the past, and I try to recreate as many of the scenarios as possible over and over and over and over. Unless obviously it doesn't work out, then you should be changing. You saw in that very first matchup that we played it a little bit different, and yeah, changing it up here now. They do end up coming with the Dugong. We do have their shields down. That's very good for Scrafty in the back. This is probably one of those matchups where I was talking about where I'm going to end up getting a huge farm down onto Scrafty from the Charjabug. Switch is back up for us. I know I'm not going to really get hurt here by the Ice Punch, or by the Icy Wind rather. I'm going to just go for the Thunder Punch right away here. They do get to another move. Fortunately, I'm pretty sure there's an Icy Wind as well, which we're going to survive. If they did throw a Drill Run, probably we wouldn't survive that, but I'm going to throw this move, but we're double reduced in damage here, and now it's back to this Charjabug. I'm going to wait the timer out just because our switches are really misaligned. I'm going to come in Scrafty and probably farm this all the way down. Don't really need to shield the first one. It does about 40% if I remember right. A little less, it looks like, 35%. I'm going to shield the second one just to maybe maintain some HP. Or catch. That also works. And then go for the farm down here. The Dugong is super low, not going to be able to get to another move, so I know I'm not in that bad range of getting reduced on attack and then screwed over. I do decide my first move is going to be a power-up punch just so that I'm doing more damage, and then hopefully that leads me to a place where foul play is going to be good. I really need to be watching out for the switch. He ends up switching here. We have 100 energy, and now I'm just going to throw 2 foul plays. I should win CMP against a Lantern, and I do have a shield. They're trying to get to 2 Surfs. They don't make it. They try to go for the catch. They don't make it. Just be wary of these things. If you know they have a catch available and your timers are unaligned like that, just be wary of it. All right, Mandibuzz lead, obviously very bad. Something to really think about in the back is the Scrafty. You don't want to take any extra damage as much as possible because you can survive the 2 aerial aces. And then this Vigoroth matchup, we've seen it already 2 times before this. You can win this matchup if they don't throw all their energy into this. I know it seems like you can kind of just do what you want as the Vigoroth in this matchup, but no, you cannot. In fact, you do have to throw the energy unless you want to use a shield or unless you want to lose switch. Either of those I'm okay with because I've got Scrafty in the back. Again, Hypno just going to be able to 2 confusion this down. It's almost like the exact same thing is happening in a lot of these games. It's because the main mon are being used over and over, and we already know how to deal with this. Now, Mandibuzz coming in here and them having switch sucks. Why does it suck? Because we're just going to be trying to pup through this, and then they can switch at any point and really remove that. Not necessarily remove that puff damage because we're kind of getting powered up here anyways, but if they end up having something that counters Scrafty in the back, you're totally screwed. and all this pumped up damage is going to be for naught. Gonna try to throw again on 1-4-7 timing, as we have 2 turn moves and they have 3 turn moves. So it's 1, 4, 7, 10, anything like that. Basically 1 plus 3 in however many plus 3s you want to go. They do end up having actually a Lowland Sandslash here in the back. So I go for another pup, and then I'm going to try to farm this all the way down and then hopefully throw another pup into the Mandibuzz. They're not going to be able to get to a move. Fortunately for them, I guess, they had Powder Snow. Actually, I don't know. They probably both do very similar damage. Then I decide I'm going to come in with Hypno. I can survive 1 Dark Pulse, but again, going to shield right away. Going to do the same thing I did against that Lickitung earlier, try to get to 2 moves and then throw back to back. The CMP here, I don't know the CMP, but I imagine Hypno does lose the CMP here. It's probably pretty close, though, to be honest. I'm just thinking about both. When they get to 50, they actually don't get to... Or, yeah, when they're level 50, they both don't get to 2,500. So for Ultra League, they're both a little under 2,500. So I imagine they're very close on their stats. All right, Hypno versus Dugong here in the lead. It's a fine matchup. I would rather be in here with Scrafty, but this is fine too. We're going to be threatening a lot here. The one thing you really would love to do, and they actually end up catching here on the Trevenant, which actually ends up being amazing for us because Umbreon is insane against this. The one thing you would really love to do, but you can't do against the Dugong, is, again, the same thing we do with a Charjabug. Kind of split the damage we're taking on Hypno and Umbreon, but the last thing you want is Umbreon to get reduced and then just not neutral against something in the back. I go for the Foul Play once I get to almost 100 energy here, and then I'm going to undercharge severely so that I can just farm this down. You're not really threatened by Trevenant at all. This matchup is just so dominant. They must have 2 answers to Hypno, otherwise they wouldn't have swapped into this hard counter. Although maybe they did switch into it because they wanted to just catch a resisted move. They do end up coming with the Dugong. They throw an Icy Wind for sure. You are going to survive this, so you can end up throwing damage into it. The thing that's really tough here is they could maybe farm you down, although you're going to get to 2 moves, and then I try to just do damage to this. And I actually end up getting pretty lucky here that it is, in fact, a Charjabug here in the back. And I have the Umbreon maybe for a catch later. They do end up for a lot of farm here, and I actually think this Umbreon can't really get farmed down, so I'm going to throw it in here just to soak up some energy. And then, oh no, I don't do that. I really thought I did. So you cannot shield the first one, that's fine. It is the Dugong still in the back, and it is pretty low. Can't really get to a move. So I wonder if I just go for the pup here, or I just go straight Foul Plays. Okay. We could end up catching again on Umbreon, or we could just go straight Foul Play here again. It's getting tough. I do have a move on Umbreon, I think, so I could go 1 counter, switch, and then toss. I think that's what I end up doing. Yeah. I remembered that game right there at the end. I remember thinking I can throw at the same time they throw, and since they're on a 4-turn move and I'm on a 2-turn move, I can still get under with that 1-turn switch and throw a move into the Charjabug without them being able to react at all. That is something you guys should think about as well. Yeah, so again, this team continues to work for me even like 14. I'm going to just keep saying 14 seasons. I don't know how many seasons ago season 4 was. Let's say 12 seasons ago. So 12 seasons later, I mean, this team's still working for me pretty good. Yeah, just, you don't have to pick this team, but pick a team, I think, and really start to learn the intricacies of the Mon in certain matchups with the big Mon of the meta. And it won't take you too long. I mean, right now we have 10 games a day, or 50 games a day if you want, 10 sets. And now's the time to really get in some practice with a new team or a team that you've been trying to use. Again, thank you for watching the video, and like and subscribe if you like this video and if you want to catch more. And I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.